All right, guys, welcome to part four of making all-time WrestleMania cards. This time we're looking at WrestleMania 31 to WrestleMania 40. Maybe I'll add a WrestleMania 41 match. I know they didn't really finish making the card, but I'll see if I'm able to. But yeah, guys, we got a lot of good matches here. We're gonna start with WrestleMania 31. So a few options are definitely Triple H versus Sting because it's the only time you can get Sting on the card here. Um, what else do we have? We have the main event Roman versus Brock, which I'm definitely considered using, but I don't know. I just felt like maybe we can use Roman somewhere else because his prime was definitely in the later era of this decade, later years. So IC title ladder match was fun too. Randy versus Seth was also quite fun. But I'm going with Rusev versus John Cena for the United States Championship. Um, Again, we don't really use Rusev much after this. And yeah, Cena, I mean, aside from WrestleMania 41, he hasn't really been, featured in a lot of WrestleManias. WrestleMania 32, he was injured. WrestleMania 33 was the mixed tag match, so that wasn't that good. 34, he had that like very weird match with the Undertaker, and then 36, he had that match with Bray Wyatt, but it wasn't really a match. And then was it 39? He fought um who did he fight? Austin Theory. So yeah, he wasn't really featured that much. So I thought this match was good. Rusev was very over at the time as the dominant foreign heel. He had a great entrance with the tank, and he was undefeated. And John Cena was able to, use his hustle, loyalty, respect to end Rusev's undefeated streak. So yeah, that was a cool moment, and it was a good match. WrestleMania 32, I chose the no holds barred match: Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. Um, so yeah, even though this match was disappointing, it was still a good match. So that's how you know, like, hey man, the expectations were very high for Ambrose and Lesnar because Ambrose, he's known for that hardcore style. Brock known for giving punishment. But I think at the time Brock Lesnar was preparing for another UFC fight, so he didn't want to do too much. But yeah, I think it was still a really solid match here. Other options, AJ versus Jericho, but I have AJ for something else. What else? Yeah, I mean the main event was not good at all. Shane versus Taker, that wasn't really that good at all. The IC title ladder match was fun, but it took a lot of wrestlers, including Cody Rhodes, because Stardust was in that match, so you can't really use that match. So yeah, this is the way to go. Get Brock on the card. I know he's going through some controversial things right now, but yeah, I mean he's still a big star, so you get him on the card versus Ambrose, who was also a big star at the time, and a decent no holds barred match. All right, WrestleMania 33. The match that I chose was for the Raw Tag Team Championship ladder match. The Club versus Enzo and Cass versus Sheamus and Cesaro versus the returning Hardy Boys. Obviously, the moment is just what we're really here for. Is the Hardy Boys return? Like, the pop was insane. You have the New Day introducing them, so that was cool. Things are about to be broken. What a great call by Michael Cole, and just how loud the arena was for the Hardy Boys was great, and the match was really fun too. I mean, obviously you can't compare it to like the TLCs or the Triangle Ladder matches of the past where violence was more allowed back then, but it was still a really good match and a cool moment for the Hardy Boys to win the Raw Tag Team Championships. So now WrestleMania 2034, sorry. There's again a few options here. You got Charlotte versus Asuka was really good. I mean, the IC title triple threat match was really fun as well. I mean, both world title matches are a little bit disappointing, so can't really go that route. So I went with Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H mixed tag team match. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the best match on that card, actually, when you come to think about it. Um, Star power here is amazing. You got Ronda Rousey at her peak. I mean, everything after this kind of went downhill, but this was her peak where fans were behind her. The storyline was, her to get her hands on Stephanie. And then, yeah, Kurt Angle's, his great WrestleMania match because WrestleMania 35 versus Corbin. I mean, it wasn't that good. And yeah, this was probably Triple H's best WrestleMania match of this decade as well, because him versus Sting, solid. Him versus Roman, not that good. Him versus Seth, it was okay. It took too long. Him versus Batista again took too long, but this was the perfect match. Mixed tag match. Obviously, you have Ronda and Triple H, their interaction as well, where Ronda gives Triple H the slam. So yeah, this was a really good moment and really good match. WrestleMania 35, we have my title match, the WWE World Championship, Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. So yeah, I didn't end up using a Roman Reigns title match here. Him versus Cody, definitely an option. But I'm using them, but in a different route to get another major star on the card, if you know what I'm talking about. So that's why I couldn't use their title matches from WrestleMania 39 or 40, or even Roman's matches against Roman's matches against Edge and Daniel. That was for the Universal Championship, so that was a different title. But obviously, if you use Roman there, you can't use him for the Undisputed World title. So that's why I went with Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. Again, this is an unexpected rise for Kofi Kingston. He just does amazing in the gauntlet match, I believe. And yeah, fans are behind him. They want to see him win. He gets close at Elimination Chamber. And obviously, the New Day in the tag team gauntlet match had to earn Kofi the championship match, which was amazing. So yeah, I think this would definitely be a great title match to have. I mean, looking at the other title matches that, again, Roman Seth can't really do. Roman Triple H wasn't that good. Orton Wyatt, Roman Brock, they weren't good. Brock Goldberg maybe could do, but yeah, I mean, I didn't want to choose anything from WrestleMania 36 just because, pandemic era, no crowd, definitely didn't want that. So, I definitely think, yeah, Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, aside from the Roman Reigns Cody matches, is probably the best title match, and it's just a great feel good moment for Kofi Kingston. All right, now we're talking about WrestleMania 36. And yeah, this was a really tough one to choose, obviously, because this is the pandemic mania. But I would chose The Undertaker versus AJ Styles. Again, was this really a match? Who knows? But it was still good, I think obviously they kind of did what they had to do here. Just making it a cinematic match because there's no fans in the arena anyway. So it gives the Undertaker a nice farewell. It was cool for to have the Undertaker's last match on his card. Again, going through his other WrestleMania matches in this decade, him versus Cena was like a squash. Him versus Reigns wasn't that good. Him versus Shane, a little too long, wasn't that good. And then him versus Wyatt, again, just kind of underwhelming. So this is definitely the Undertaker match to choose from, and yeah, I think it helps because there's other good matches, but just the environment of having no crowd definitely hurt some of the matches. At least this match, didn't really need it because it was a cinematic match. I mean, Cena versus Wyatt was the other cinematic match, but I just felt like this was more of an actual match. That's Firefly Funhouse match. That was just more like a vignette or something. That wasn't like a real match. At least this one you kind of knew how to win the match. You had to throw your opponent into the grave. So yeah, and AJ was really fun here. He had great character work as well. When he sat up from the coffin, I thought that was a funny moment. And then you get Undertaker's last ride with the motorcycle, which is a great moment as well. So that's the WrestleMania 36 match. WrestleMania 37. A few options here. You can definitely go Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz, John Morrison, but I went with the SmackDown Women's Championship, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, the main event of night one. Just the historical aspect of having two black women in the main event here is kind of the rise of Bianca Belair, her first WrestleMania. And yeah, I just think this was the match to choose from this card. You had other solid stuff, but just the history and the importance of this match. And I thought it was a really good match as well. You have the hair whip where Bianca whipped Sasha Banks, which was a great moment, and Bianca getting her first big win at WrestleMania kind of starts the Bianca Belair WrestleMania win streak, I believe. So, yeah, again, Reigns versus Bryan versus Edge. That was again a really good match, but again, you use too many players in that match. You use Bryan and Reigns. I feel like to separate them makes more sense. And yeah, that's the only down part is I don't have Edge on the card here. Because his next match against AJ Styles and then his next match against Finn Balor, I do not have. So that is the one thing here is I do not have Edge on the card, which is a bit tough, but you know. And his match with Randy at WrestleMania 36, that match was a little too long. Um, so it is what it is. That's kind of something I had to sacrifice. I had to make here, but yeah, again, Sasha Banks versus Bianca, again, great match, 4-star level match, and yeah, the history of it as well is very very cool to have on your card. All right, WrestleMania 38, we have no holds barred, Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens. So yeah, this was kind of a no brainer. Obviously, it's the only match Austin has had, so this is the only way to get him on the card. Cody versus Seth. Definitely an option as well, but Cody and Seth, I'm going to use them a bit later on. They'll be in the same match, but not as opponents. If you get my wink, if you get my hint there, wink, wink. But yeah, this was obviously a match we expected, but they kind of hyped it as Austin is going to be on the Kevin Owens show. A lot of people were like, "What does that mean?" And then when when Owens said, we want to see in a match, and Austin's like, yeah, get the referee, and then still couldn't believe it, to be honest, until the referee rang the bell, and then yeah, that's when you had an official match here, and it was just classic Stone Cold, brawling in the audience. I believe Stone Cold, he took like a suplex or a backdrop onto the ramp, entrance ramp, which is crazy. He has Stone Cold driving Kevin Owens down back to the ring on his ATV. And yeah, Kevin Owens, he also used a stunner as well. So that was a cool moment when he hit Austin with a stunner. But then Austin was able to, hit his own stunners, get the win, drink beer. Yeah, feel good moment for WrestleMania 38. Other options, Becky versus Bianca, was definitely a really good match. Definitely in consideration. Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville, just for the celebrity involvement, the creativity of that match. I thought that was a really, really good match as well. The main event was pretty underwhelming, so that's why I didn't even think about using Lesnar Reigns 3 at WrestleMania. So yeah, Austin versus Owens, definitely the way to go, especially when you have a chance to get Austin on your card. The problem with Owens is it took some matches off. Like, he couldn't use the tag team title match from WrestleMania 39, couldn't use his Intercontinental title ladder match from WrestleMania 32, or even his match with Jericho at WrestleMania 33. It was really good. So some matches you couldn't use him, but when you have a chance to use Stone Cold, you definitely use him. All right, WrestleMania 39. So I got the Intercontinental Championship match. I got Sheamus and Drew McIntyre challenging Gunther here. And you know what, guys? I just realized I made a mistake because I have Sheamus in the Raw Tag Team title match. So let me think about this. So yeah, I guess WrestleMania 39, I will have to go with Rey Mysterio versus Dominick Mysterio instead. Yeah, I was definitely looking forward to putting the IC title match here, but I did realize Sheamus was in the Raw Tag Team title match at WrestleMania 33. And just looking at that card there, I mean, you could definitely choose another match. Um, but yeah, I just think the Hardy Boys having their return was definitely you definitely need it. And I think Rey Mysterio versus Dominic, that was a really really good match as well. Other options was Rhea versus Charlotte, but apparently, they're using the same belts, SmackDown Women's Championship, so we cannot use the same belt there. And looking at WrestleMania 37, um, yeah, I mean there wasn't really much options to choose from. So so unless I go Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville WrestleMania 37, then I could do Charlotte versus Rhea. Um, but I think you know what, just keep it simple. I'm gonna go Rey Mysterio versus Dominic. You get the great build here between Dominic turning on Rey, clotheslining him, and then obviously the when Dominic, I believe he visited Rey during the holidays or something. He got arrested, and he became Dirty Dom. So yeah, this was just cool start in the build, and then obviously Rey accepting the match after Dominic told, I believe, his mom to shut up or something. So yeah, I mean, the build here was amazing. The match was really cool. You got Ray's iconic entrance with Snoop Dogg. You get Dom's iconic entrance. You know, him coming out of the police car. You get Bad Bunny's involvement as well. So yeah, I mean, this is not a bad match to choose from. I definitely wanted the IC title match, but I'll definitely go with Ray versus Dominic here. Father versus son, second time in WWE history, I believe. So yeah, all right, WrestleMania 40. We got Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins versus The Rock and Roman Reigns. Yeah, I mean, look, you get The Rock on the card. I mean, obviously Roman, you could use him in many options, even Cody and Seth. But I was just thinking the star power. We got Austin on the card. This is the only chance we get The Rock on the card. I mean, you could do The Rock versus Eric Rowan, but like, come on. Um, so yeah, I mean, the build here was cool too, especially with that special when The Rock slapped Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins was trying to intervene. So yeah, you had some good things there, and The Rock beating Cody Rhodes with the belt. Um, so yeah, and like obviously, WrestleMania 40 had another other good stuff on, but again, just to get the star power, and I thought the tag match was really good. I mean, it was a little long, but I thought it was still a very very good match. And get the Rock on the card, I think that's a major plus. So yeah, guys, that is my card. Let me know what you guys think about it. I'm gonna run down the card. Oh yeah, maybe WrestleMania 41. Let me see. Maybe I can add a match here. Just looking at the card here, I could add either Charlotte versus Tiffany because that's a different title, I believe, or I can add Jey Uso versus Gun. So I'm gonna add World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther versus Jey Uso. I know everyone's kind of hating on this match right now. Because obviously people thought Jey Uso shouldn't have won the Rumble. I mean, it's fair enough. Obviously they're main eventing with CM Punk, Reigns, and Rollins. So I mean, I could see the argument where you're saying like he's not ready or he's not a big enough star, but I think still it'd be a really good match, and I feel like Jey Uso will win the title, and should be a feel good moment to add to this card. So I'm gonna add that match to this card, WrestleMania 41, Uso versus Gunther. So yeah, guys, let me run down the this decade's card from WrestleMania 31 to WrestleMania 41 right now. For the United States Championship, the Bulgarian Brute Rusev versus Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect John Cena. WrestleMania 32, no holds barred match. The Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose versus the Beast Brock Lesnar. WrestleMania 33 for the Raw Tag Team Championship in a ladder match. The Club versus Enzo and Cass versus Sheamus and Cesaro the Bar versus the returning Hardy Boys, WrestleMania 34 mixed tag team match. The Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle and the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey versus the Game Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. WrestleMania 35, we got the WWE World Championship. Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. WrestleMania 36 in the Boneyard match. The Phenom, The Undertaker versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. WrestleMania 37 for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The Boss, Sasha Banks versus the EST, Bianca Belair. WrestleMania 38, also no holds barred match. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Rattlesnake versus Kevin Owens. WrestleMania 39, father versus son. Rey Mysterio versus Dirty Dom, Dominick Mysterio, and WrestleMania 40. We got the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins versus the Bloodline, the final boss, The Rock, and the head of the table, Roman Reigns. So yeah, guys, again, just looking at my card here, I think that the star power is great. I think I have like a lot of great matches actually. I think Kurt and Ronda versus Triple H and Steph, uh, Bryan versus Kofi, Sasha versus Bianca, um, Roman and The Rock versus Cody and Seth. They're all, and even Ray versus Dom, and the Raw Tag Team Ladder match with the Hardy Boys. I think they're all around 4 stars. Maybe the worst, even the Undertaker and AJ. Like it's hard to really gauge the rating on that, but everyone really enjoys that match as well. So maybe like the worst couple matches are Dean versus Brock and Cena versus Rusev, and honestly, those are like 3.5 stars as well. So I definitely think this was a good card. Yeah, let me know what you guys would do differently, and catch you on the next one. Peace.